Welcome to another episode of the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Connor Moreno, lead writer for UCLA Bruins on SI. And today we're going to talk a little bit about football, some recruiting updates. We had a few official visits over the weekend. UCLA lost on a couple recruitments over the weekend, including one pretty big one. And then we're going to move on to a little bit of baseball ahead of their matchup against the Tigers today when you're listening to this. So yeah, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Let's get right into it. So the Bruins had a huge live commitment today for Hawaii's number one recruit of the 2026 class, Talanoa Ely, and it was down to UCLA and their crosstown rivals USC. Ely is originally from Southern California, so he narrowed his two choices down to his hometown teams. And I mean, if you're watching this, you already know that he chose he chose USC, but it was very close. His father Glenn told Rivals that it was literally a photo finish. That any school could have had it. They took visits to both of them. The family loved both of the schools. A lot of the recruiting sites kind of predicted that USC would get his commitment, and they were correct, but they were predicting him by a landslide. And I'm honestly not too sure that it was that much of a guarantee that he was going to choose the Trojans, because not only have we seen that Deshaun Foster is kind of changing the landscape of Westwood football and how many, players they're able to attain. He's had an incredible recruiting stretch over this entire offseason. But also, UCLA is just becoming a destination. Now, I know USC, they have the number one ranked recruiting class by far. Like, you look at all the recruiting sites, all the team rankings, they're at number one by tons of recruits. So, you just got to give it to the Trojans. They're bringing in talent like that. And, but UCLA is like, they're climbing up the rankings too. On3 had them, I think, 17th. Rivals has them 18th. 24/7 Sports, they have them as the 14th recruiting class for the 2026 cycle. So the Bruins are making progress, and just because they lost out on Ely, which would have been Foster's highest rated recruit of his entire tenure in Westwood, just because they lost out on him does not mean that, this is the end of their recruiting. They had a huge weekend of official visits. Bunch of 3 stars. I'm pretty sure it was a few 4 stars had some visits to Westwood this weekend. So we're about to see the fallout of that. Just like last weekend, they held it was last weekend. They held a whole bunch of official visits, and they got like 12 or 14. I think it's closer to 12 or 11 commits from that visit weekend alone. Which is why they were able to shoot up the boards. Just 2 weeks ago, they were at like early 40s in the team rankings. So, they've made progress, and they still have a long way to go. You see a bunch of their coaches going on Twitter saying, it's not over yet. Just wait for what we have in store. We had a great weekend. So I'm believing it. And the proof is in the pudding, and they've been showing out quite well, honestly. They're doing a great job recruiting. So, lost out on Ely. It would have been a huge get for the Bruins, but it's okay. You move forward. So stuff like that happens. That was pretty much kind of, I think, the highest rated and closest recruit that UCLA has lost out on so far. It's not like the Bruins were like in the top 5. No, it was neck and neck. Like, they were in the top 2 with USC, and they were in that battle. The family loved the visit. Talanoa loved the visit, reportedly. So, yeah, it's not like the Bruins just outright lost it. They were in there till the end. So that's all we had for football. Let's move on to baseball. By the time you're watching this, it's going to be Monday, and the Bruins are going to be playing the Tigers in the winners semifinals to advance to the winners finals and get themselves one win away from making it back to the national championship for the first time since 2013. So the Bruins have been rolling. They're 6-0 in the postseason. Their closest game was their most recent one against Murray State. They won 6-4. Other than that, they've won games 7-0, 5-3, 8-5 was one of the closer ones. 19-4 they beat Fresno State. 11-5 they beat Arizona State. That was all their games. They're 6-0 and they're rolling. Coach John Savage said after their last game, which was the win over Murray State, that everything's clicking at the right time, but they kind of really found themselves, especially the pitching staff. They really found themselves in April, and he credits kind of that Big Ten tournament in Omaha for them having a little bit of an advantage over a lot of other teams here. Obviously, there's going to be much better teams on paper than them, but they've been rolling, they've been clicking, especially for the second half of the season, which is why they're going, headstrong into this Omaha tournament. So LSU is the 6th ranked team in the tournament, the number 6 seed. This is going to be UCLA's first seeded opponent. UCLA is obviously 15th seed. They didn't have to play the number 2 seed in the Super Regionals because UTSA upset them. You could look back at that and say, hey, we beat a team that upset the number 2 ranked team in the nation. But I mean, crazier stuff has happened, but it was still UTSA. It was their first ever Super Regionals appearance, and you just beat Murray State. It was their first College World Series appearance in program history. So now you're going to be playing against people that are proven. You're going to be playing against a ranked opponent. You're going to be playing against a team that just won the national championship 2 years ago. By the way, a little wrinkle, Paul Skeens, former LSU ace and current Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher, he's going to be in attendance. The Pirates have an off day. They just finished their series against the Chicago Cubs. So in his off day, he's going to travel to Omaha. He's going to be at that game. He's going to be cheering on the team that he led to a national championship in 2023. It's a big game. It has big stakes. If you win this game, the Bruins are 1 win away from making it back to the national championship. Last time they made it back was in 2013 when they just so happened to win it all. So it's going to be a huge game, lots of stakes. It's really going to show, honestly, I think it's going to show if this Bruins team is legit. Because, yeah, they're rolling through it, but they haven't had to play someone at LSU's level thus far. As far as who's taking the mound, Coach John Savage wasn't too sure. He didn't want to reveal anything, especially in a tournament. He said that you don't want to set your rotation as is, just like you would in a regular season. But he did say that sophomore Landon Stump is available and ready. He said that before he knew LSU were their opponents. So I don't know. We'll go ahead and see who it is. He probably won't announce it until 30 minutes before game time. So, the Bruins have a big game ahead of them tomorrow. We can go quickly through a few updates because since the last time we talked, a few other games have happened. So Arizona is out of the tournament. They're on the other side of the bracket. They're out of the tournament. They lost to Louisville in the elimination bracket in the other bracket, which means Louisville is going to go ahead and take on Oregon State in the losers finals. Losers finals will take place on Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday, which means that tomorrow you've got UCLA, LSU, and earlier in the day you have Murray State and Arkansas. A loser of that goes home as well. So lots of big games coming up and lots of coverage, and you can find it all here. So again, thanks for watching and listening to the UCLA Bruins Insider Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Connor Moreno. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.